The gnomish life was one of peace. Then came the orcs. They struck without warning, a raiding group so large it could be a small army. The raiders decimated our outer defenses. They looted houses and turned them to rubble. We were forced to flee to the catacombs, yet the raiders persisted even through the cramped tunnels, howling madly in their guttural tongue. We had but one chance to survive, an insane inventor by the name of Tasseldown Proudfoots.
Proudfeet.
It had been rumored she was working on a series of defensive projects to protect her laboratory. Could it be possible to convince her to aid us? The shrieking of orcs made one thing certain. We had to try.
Who goes there?
Oral of the Verdant.
Yes, the Verdant Oasis. What do you want, Oral?
Orcs attacked us and we thought—
You thought I would have something to help you? Why should I?
Please?
Yes, very well. I never liked orcs. Too smelly. Those hooligans will meet the full might of my clockworks. Rise up!
At Tasseldown's command, the walls seem to come alive. Before you stand constructs the likes of which you've never seen. Segmented worms with spiked wheels, snakes made of solid iron, human-sized shield-bearing guardians, and the most fearsome ballistae you've ever laid eyes on. While you're taking in the sights, Tasseldown has been barking orders at the various machines.
And remember what I told you. Bronze scouts go first to observe only. After that, defenders before the bolters. Snakes, wait until the bolters bring the orcs in close before you administer the poison.
You watch as the constructs silently move down the hall and fade from view. 5 minutes pass. Then 10. Suddenly the war cries of the raiding party echo down the hallway, followed by a huge explosion, the shriek of iron against stone, and then silence.
Go on. You're welcome to marvel in the majesty of my clockworks.
I'll stay here, thanks. Suddenly a screen lights up in Tasseldown's laboratory.
Ah, the feed from the Bronze Scouts has arrived. They are in position.
The sight is terrifyingly awe-inspiring. Screaming orcs hurl themselves against the dual-shielded constructs, only to be repulsed. Any orc keeping out of harm's way is harpooned by a ballista and dragged towards a teeming horde of the iron snakes. When the orcs form a massive wave and charge, a ballista fires what can only be described as a barely contained destruction that erupts in a huge wave of fire, leaving nothing but charred, mangled corpses behind. After hours of constant struggle against the clockworks, the orc raiding band is reduced to a pitiful few survivors who clamor over themselves to exit the catacombs.
Fantastic! The test run worked perfectly.
Test run?
I will usher in a new age of peace and prosperity to my new empire.
Welcome back to a Compendium of Monsters. This week's entry, The Clockworks. Before we continue, please make sure you've subscribed to my channel. It helps me out a lot. Bronze Scouts are challenge level 1, medium-sized constructs. They have an armor class of 13, average hit points of 18, a speed of 30 feet, a burrowing speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Bronze Scouts are immune to poison damage as well as non-magical attacks not made with adamantine weapons. Bronze Scouts are also immune to the following conditions: charmed, exhausted, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, and poisoned. Bronze Scouts have 2 abilities, Earth Armor and Magic Resistance. Magic Resistance allows Bronze Scouts advantage on saving throws against spells or other magical effects, while Earth Armor prevents Bronze Scouts from receiving opportunity attacks when they burrow underground. For their actions, Bronze Scouts can make a bite attack, or they can discharge a Lightning Flare. The Lightning Flare forces all creatures within 15 feet of the Bronze Scout to make a dexterity saving throw or take the full brunt of a shocking attack. This ability can only be used once between long or short rests, so if a Bronze Scout blows its load early, it's probably going to run away and shamefully hide until it recovers. Bronze Scouts on a whole don't generally emerge from below ground since they can use telescopic eye stalks to observe enemies at close range while the rest of its body is hidden. Since Bronze Scouts aren't the heftiest of constructs here, they would rather run than fight. Iron Cobras are challenge level 4, medium-sized constructs. They have an armor class of 13, average hit points of 45, a speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Iron Cobras are immune to poison damage as well as non-magical attacks not made with adamantine weapons. Iron Cobras are also immune to the following conditions: charmed, exhausted, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, and poisoned. Iron Cobras also possess the Magic Resistance trait, allowing it advantage on saving throws against spells or other magical effects. Iron Cobras have a bite attack as their only action, but this bite forces the target creature to make a Constitution saving throw against an additional effect. target. These three possible effects could be additional poison damage, confusion, or paralysis. If the target creature becomes confused, it will randomly attack any creature it can see within 30 feet of it, or it will use its movement to dash towards a random visible creature in its sight, provided no creatures are within 30 feet. Happily, confusion only lasts 1 round. Paralysis also lasts 1 round, but remember, melee attackers now have advantage to hit the paralyzed target and inflict critical damage on a successful attack. Stone Defenders are challenge level 4 medium-sized constructs. They have an armor class of 16, average hit points of 52, a speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Stone Defenders are immune to poison damage as well as non-magical attacks not made with adamantine weapons. Stone Defenders are also immune to the following conditions: charmed, exhausted, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, and poisoned. Stone Defenders also possess the magic resistance trait, allowing an advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Stone Defenders have the false appearance ability, allowing them to become indistinguishable from uneven earthen or stone surfaces so long as Stone Defenders do not move. For their action, Stone Defenders make a single slam attack, though this attack is powerful enough to knock a target creature of large or smaller size prone without a saving throw. Yikes. For their reaction, Stone Defenders can intercept attacks, allowing them to bolster the armor class of an allied creature within 5 feet of them to help that creature avoid an attack. However, to use this ability, Stone Defenders must be able to see the creature they are defending as well as the attacking creature. Oaken Bolters are challenge level 5, medium-sized constructs. They have an armor class of 16, average hit points of 58, a speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Oaken Bolters are immune to poison damage as well as non-magical attacks not made with adamantine weapons. Oaken Bolters are also immune to the following conditions: charmed, exhausted, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, and poisoned. Oaken Bolters also possess the magic resistance trait, allowing an advantage on saving throws against spells or other magical effects. Oaken Bolters have a basic multi-attack, allowing them to use Lancing Bolt twice or make one Lancing Bolt attack and a Harpoon attack. Lancing Bolt has an effective range of 100 feet and a long distance range of 400 feet in which it deals piercing damage with a large javelin-esque piece of ammunition. The Harpoon attack has an effective range of 50 feet and a long distance range of 200 feet. If the Harpoon attack is successful, the target creature is grappled and can only move laterally or closer to the Oaken Bolter. If the target creature tries and either succeeds or fails to escape the grapple, it takes an average of 5 damage per attempt. Oaken Bolters can use a bonus action to force the creature 20 feet closer, dealing additional damage as the Harpoon rips against the target creature's flesh. Luckily for you, most Oaken Bolters can only grapple a single creature. Lastly, Oaken Bolters can take the Explosive Bolt action, which launches an explosive to a point within 120 feet of the Oaken Bolter. This ammunition violently explodes similarly to a fireball, but for slightly less damage. If you don't want to get fried, you'll need to make a dexterity saving throw, but also bear in mind Explosive Bolt has a 1/3 chance to recharge each round. None of these constructs require air, food, drink, or sleep, making them quite capable in keeping to their duties. Gnomish inventors have spent many long years attempting to force magic into mechanical devices, and these constructs are the beginning of their success. Gnomish artisans might impart specialized blueprints onto their own clockworks, causing the clockwork to take up to 2 to 10 possible enhancements. These enhancements will make your life more difficult in unfortunately unpredictable ways, but let's take a look at what you're up against. Camouflaged. A clockwork gains proficiency in stealth, and when motionless, it is indistinguishable from a stopped machine. Sensors. The clockwork's dark vision augments to 120 feet instead of 60 feet, and it gains proficiency in perception if it does not have proficiency in it yet. Improved armor. A static +2 to the clockwork's armor class. Increased speed. The clockwork's speed increases by 10 feet. Reinforced construction. The clockwork has resistance to force, lightning, and thunder damage. Self-repairing. The clockwork regains 5 hit points at the start of each of its turns, provided it has 1 hit point remaining and has not taken lightning damage during the round. Sturdy frame. The clockwork's maximum hit points are increased by an amount equal to its total number of hit dice. That one sounds bad until you realize the maximum increase a clockwork could possibly receive is a +9. Suction. The clockwork gains a climbing speed of 30 feet. Thank goodness it wasn't something else. Had me scared for a moment. Vocal Resonator. The clockwork gains the ability to speak rudimentary Common or Gnomish, whichever the creator chooses. Lastly, water propulsion. The clockwork gains a swimming speed of 30 feet. With all good things come bad, and clockworks are not exempt. When you deal critical damage to a clockwork or meet another criteria set by your dungeon master, 1 of 10 malfunctions could happen. Faulty sensors. Roll a d6 at the start of the clockwork's turn. If a 1 is rolled, the clockwork is blinded until the end of its turn. Flawed Quad targeting. Roll a d6 at the start of the clockwork's turn. If a 1 is rolled, the clockwork has disadvantage to attack until the end of its turn. Ground fault. The clockwork is vulnerable to lightning damage. Obviously not possible if the construct is affected by reinforced construction. Imprinting loop. Roll a d6 at the start of the clockwork's turn. If a 1 is rolled, the clockwork mistakes a creature it can see within 30 feet for its creator and won't willingly harm that creature for 1 minute or until the creature attacks or deals damage to the clockwork. Leaking lubricant. Not sketchy at all. Roll a d6 at the start of the clockwork's turn. If a 1 is rolled, the clockwork gains a level of exhaustion that supersedes its immunity to exhaustion. Limited steering. The clockwork must move in a straight line. It can turn up to 90 degrees before moving and again at the midpoint of its movement. The clockwork can rotate freely if it's not using any movement speed on its turn. Overactive sense of self-protection. Roll a d6 at the start of the clockwork's turn. If a 1 is rolled and the clockwork is reduced to half of its hit points or fewer, it will attempt to flee combat as its next action. If retreat isn't possible, the clockwork will continue fighting. Overheat. Roll a d6 at the start of the clockwork's turn. If a 1 is rolled, the clockwork is incapacitated until the end of its turn. Rusty gears. The clockwork has disadvantage on initiative rolls and its speed decreases by 10 feet. Weak armor. The clockwork loses its immunity to damage from non-adamantine based attacks. Clockworks work cohesively, meaning the majority of the time you're not going to find one clockwork off by itself. Several oaken bolters are great for holding long passageways or hallways and will usually be guarded by stone defenders while iron cobras hide in the background and take opportunistic strikes. What would be the best way to take down a group of clockwork constructs? Target them with intelligence, strength, except for the stone defender, wisdom, or charisma saving throws. Hold monster on a stone defender will remove the intercept attack reaction for nearby oaken bolters or iron cobras. The crown of madness will turn the stone defender against its allies, buying you valuable time. Casting fog cloud or darkness will make it more difficult for oaken bolters to strike with ranged attacks, allowing you to get closer to the entrenched clockworks. There are a myriad of other spells that will help you defeat a group of clockwork constructs. Don't be afraid to get creative. Anyways, what do you all think of clockwork constructs? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and share this video on your Twitter, Facebook, and other social media. I'll see you all next time.